we are pleased to welcome in TNA star Tessa Blanchard. Tessa, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you've been traveling all over the place. I want to get into third-generation wrestler. Growing up in the field, was it love at first sight, or did it take a little bit?
You know what? I think it took a little bit. I never grew up wanting to be a wrestler. I was always a wrestling fan, but I was more into musical theater growing up. And then around the time I turned 18, when I had left home, I was kind of on my own, learning how to do life. I decided to look up a wrestling school, long story short, and I showed up to this wrestling school in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I said, hey, I want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of piqued my interest was my dad was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2012, and just being around that wrestling environment for the first time, fully submersed in it, is when I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with the theater then, you probably had that performance part all unpacked already. Was it the wrestling part that kind of took a little bit to build, or?
You know, I always say, because in school I was always an athlete too. I did soccer, I ran track and field, I did cheerleading, I did a few different sports, but I always had that athlete in me. I loved the gym, I loved running, I loved working out, and then musical theater was my passion. So it was always my dream to live in New York and be on Broadway one day.
Yeah.
But then finding musical theater and sports and having those kind of mesh together with the world of professional wrestling, it was kind of like a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, walking into the ring, I'm sure that's similar to Broadway, though, in some sense. I mean, you have people looking at you like you are a superstar, you are the hero of everything. I mean, what is that feeling like?
When I'm backstage, I might be like Tessa the person, and I get kind of nervous, or I have a lot of feelings going on, but as soon as my music hits, as soon as the bell rings, as soon as I step through the ropes, it's, I'm all in, I'm zoned in, tunnel vision, focused.
Yeah, and then how do you take me through the preparation with your body, staying in shape, staying in tune with potential injuries and stuff like that?
We were just talking how you guys got to be here around 4 a.m., you got to be able to prep, get ready to go on air. For us, it's like the gym, the dieting, the active lifestyle, that's our 9 to 5. That's the gym is my office, so it's something that I can't neglect. It's something that we do daily.
Yeah.
And then on top of the traveling, it can get a little difficult when we're on the road, but it's just something that has to get done, and that's the difference between people that are here and people that are here.
Yeah, yeah. So you were first in TNA, stepped aside, now you're back. What is it like being back? Have you fully grabbed your footing again? What is it?
It's when I was with TNA, formerly Impact Wrestling, we did a lot. I held championships, I made history, I was part of an amazing locker room, and I got to work with such amazing talents on the female and the men's side. And so to leave for a little bit and then come back as TNA Wrestling, and just to see the growth is probably the most amazing thing to me, because I was working smaller arenas with Impact, such as Melrose Ballroom. Now we're going and working these 1,000-seaters, and it's incredible to see how much it's grown, but to be a part of that growth now, to be the face of the Knockouts division, it's amazing.
Yeah, and just being in the ring, you move with such a fluidity. How did that come to be?
Like I said, I always had that athlete in me, but for me, I think it's more the desire. I never wanted to be good. I want to be great. I never want to be passable. I want to be one of the best in the world. And with that comes training and preparation. When I first started, I would be in the ring 7 days a week. From 6 to 8, we had training, and then from 8 until about 2 in the morning, I would be there just working on my own basics with Cedric Alexander, Caleb Conley, local talents in North Carolina who've passed through the WWE cycle. But just training, and I always wanted to be the most versatile wrestler possible. So that way it never mattered who I was in the ring with. I could go out there and just kill it. So I would train in Japan, I would train in Mexico, I've ran seminars in Austria, in the UK, more than 9 countries. So just going out and learning and getting uncomfortable, or being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. All right. And when you say versatile, is that kind of how you want to be remembered? Kind of just a versatile wrestler that can do it all?
Maybe so, because for me, I always cared a lot, and I still do, about my resume. I wanted to go out there and I wanted to do everything. I wanted to go out there and do things that girls don't really do.
Yeah.
There's she's a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserves. Her name's Lisa Jaster, and she's a huge idol of mine. I went to one of her seminars, and she was the 3rd female Army Ranger to graduate Ranger School, which is a class that normally isn't open to females.
Yeah.
And then when it did, she did it at 37 years old after having 3 children, and it's just one of the hardest schools in our United States military, and she went and she killed it. She outshined most men, and I was like, everything that you are in the Army, I wanted to be in wrestling.
Yeah.
And just seeing those women from other walks of life excel, it kind of motivates me as well in the professional wrestling world.
Yeah, very, very inspiring. And we talked a little bit before, not only are you a wrestler, but you're about to graduate. And you're doing that on top of all the traveling, all the shows. How was that possible? Take me through that.
Hey man, it's got to get done. It's got to get done. I think it's how bad you want it, right? Like, for me, it was always my dad's dream for his kids to finish school. And then when I was 18, I was in college going for business and never really knew what I wanted to do. But then I started making a lot of money wrestling and traveling the world. And I was like, I don't need school. And then life just happened, and it allowed me to go back to school, finish my degree, ended up changing my degree to International Affairs, joining Army ROTC.
Yeah.
And I kind of found out who Tessa Blanchard is without wrestling, which I didn't know before. And going through that path, it kind of detoured me away from wrestling. But sometimes God's got to take you on those back roads to get you back on track, and that's kind of what happened for me. So very blessed to say that I am about to graduate with my bachelor's in international affairs, but also doing it at the same time as being an international professional wrestler, which, it's we'll sleep when we're dead, right?
So time like the present. So then tonight, before we head to break, what are fans what can they expect?
Oh, this Friday and Saturday, we're at the St. Joseph Civic Arena. It's going to be absolutely insane. TNA Wrestling, they're going to get some of the best wrestling in the whole world. You got guys like the Hardys, you got Mike Santana, you got myself, you got Nick Nemeth. The talent is absolutely endless. It's going to be action-packed, total non-stop action, if I might say so myself. But tickets are still on sale, so if you guys don't have it yet, I would go and grab it because they're going fast, and it's going to be an amazing show.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking with Mike in just a little bit. But Tessa, for now, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.